us differently, to create an environment where our warriors can thrive in. IQI's culture comprises of a culture of outstanding performance, ingrained in IQI, we dare to dream big and to go beyond real estate to change lives.
Welcome to IQI
Australia!
IQI is very excited to be here in Perth. We are so confident with the team of IQI WA, especially team led by Lily. So excited, so much of energy. I think that's something we're always looking for as a partner.
IQI WA team certainly have the right DNA with IQI. Certainly there is a lot of passion, there is a lot of responsibility and ethics to do the right thing. So continue to deliver on the good things to all your buyers, look after the partners. We will certainly do greatness as we do the right thing.
The warriors of IQI are the driving force of the organization. With this understanding, IQI constantly strives to construct the perfect ecosystem that nurtures the well-being of each and every warrior. The right culture within an organization is akin to a professional athlete having a holistic training regime, encompassing physical workout, mental readiness, proper nutrition, along with technical and strategic knowledge. That's why at IQI, we dare to do things differently, to create an environment where our warriors can thrive in. IQI's culture comprises of a culture of outstanding performance, a culture of growth, a culture of empowerment, and a culture of giving back. With this culture ingrained in IQI, we dare to dream big and to go beyond real estate to change lives.
Hello, good evening. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, excellent. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in this evening to listen to our sort of Australia first Zoom seminar run by IQI WA. And our topic today is NRAS investment scheme. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of that. If you haven't, you wonder why. Because this product has been on the market since 2008, but I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'll leave Lily to explain a little bit more. So before we start, just let you guys know, if you have any question, feel free to put a note on the chat. So we will pick up the question and let Lily know, and she can answer as we go. Yeah, thanks, Lena. Yeah. And also, before we start, let me just do a quick introduction about IQI, just in case some of you have not heard of IQI before, because IQI is relatively new in Australia, but in Asia, they are actually quite active. And IQI is actually a top 5 international real estate agency in the Southeast Asia region. And we actually have office operating across 5 continents. So we have offices in Dubai, Canada, Australia, where else? Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. I think I covered them all. And we have about 9,000 agents and investment experts in the workforce. So it's quite a large group. And one of the biggest strengths with IQI is even all these offices are spread out across all different continents, but we all know each other. We work together like a family. So I think that is one of our strengths. And that just give our investor a lot of confidence. If they want to venture out from their home country to invest in somewhere else, they know that local IQI locally can actually work with an IQI from another country to look after the investment, their asset. So I think that is one of the biggest strengths with IQI compared to other agency. And another beauty is last year, July, IQI have joint venture with joint venture with GUI and form Asia's biggest protect group, GUI IQI. So you will see us share quite a lot of information about GUI IQI. Okay, no more about IQI. Let me just introduce you to our speaker today, Lily. Lily is the director and the licensee of IQI WA. IQI WA established last year, August, in Perth. Previously, we are trading as Trident Property Partners. So we kind of new, but we're not new. We've been in the market for about 6 years, and Lily is she has been in the industry for about 10 years. Lots of experience, help a lot of investors build a portfolio. And herself, and she practiced what she preached as well. Herself has a very impressive portfolio as well. Not only herself, all her staff being influenced by her, and we all hold a nice portfolio as well. So today is going to be very exciting, talking about this investment scheme that not only local people can benefit from, but a lot of our foreign investors can benefit from as well. One more thing, next week we will have, every Friday night we'll have a session on different topics. So next Friday night we're going to talk about Thailand, investing in Thailand, and the week after we'll talk about investing in Malaysia as well. So it's going to be a busy Friday night for all of us. Okay, I think that's enough from me. I'll pass the time to Lily.
Thank you so much, Lian. Hello everyone. I hope I've tried to adjust everything right now. I hope you have your ding ding, you have your dinner. So did I unmute myself? Hang on, I just want to make sure. Can everyone hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you do. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much, Lian, for introducing me. I'm so scared that she will say, okay, you know actually how much she has. Okay. Thank you again for everyone for joining us in this evening. It's not easy because it's Friday evenings. And I'm looking at the participants. We have now 59 of us because we are expecting like around 70. And I heard from my team today, right, we are going to have participants from, we have Locker, okay, our Perth Max. And we also have participants from Malaysia. And also I heard from Bangkok, UK, and Swiss. I'm not quite sure is that the case, okay? So it sounds like we have quite a variety of people joining us today. So yeah, make it quick. So my name is Lily, as Lian has introduced me. I'm the director for IQI Western Australia, and we are the first branch for IQI. And today my briefing will break into 4 sections. So I will talk about per market, so just 2 slides about that and what is NRAS about. And then stay tuned with the 3rd sections that will be the comparison between NRAS and non-NRAS. So I would really highly recommend don't miss out that part because that is all about money. And then the last sections I may skip in case we are run out of times, that will be about the projects. So because for projects, right, whoever invite you to these previews, right, I mean these sections, right, I'm sure that my staff or my agents, they can brief you about the projects that we have. Okay, without any delays, let's start with the first one. Okay, this is the disclaimers. As every one of us know, come to property investments, everyone's circumstance is different. So it is always preferable you get some professional advice before you buy any property. Especially, right, I will go through quite a number of calculations later on. So I'm not an accountant. So in case you would like to get, you know, a real taxation advice, or, you know, I would still highly recommend you get the accountant to do that. Okay. So whatever I'm going to present later on is just for reference. Okay. I just want to show you the difference between, you know, NRAS and non-NRAS. Okay. So let's start. Okay, let's refresh our memory first about our dearest perp. Okay, what happened in the past and what is happening now. I'm not quite sure how many of you, old enough like me, that we have ever remember Perth home prices was the highest, okay, as compared to any other Australian capital city. But now we are the cheapest. As you can see from the maps that recently published by CoreLogics, okay, as you can see, right, in 2006, we were highest, okay, in the whole Australia. Unfortunately, we are now the cheapest. We are even cheaper than Adelaide. I'm quite shocked, you know, when I saw this. Okay, just a refresh memory. Just remember, we are not that bad in the old days. I mean, when I mentioned about the old days, right, it's just talking about 2006. That was like 14 years ago, okay? So, even some of you still remembers, right? Even like in 1983, we are even smaller than Adelaide. And then we hit the 2 million of population in 2018. So just remember, we were quite high. We have that full potential. So since we are not talking about economy, I just try to refresh your memory what happens with in previous. Okay. So what do you think with today's market? Can you answer me 1 if you think it's positive, and answer me if you think it's negative? I mean, you give me a 2 in the chat room. Okay, if you think it's positive, answer 1. If you think it's negative, maybe answer 2. Okay. Okay, just try to slow down. Okay, since none of us have a crystal ball, so let's see what happened with WA property market in the last 45 years. Okay, no doubt. Very simple math. We were double in almost every 10 years. Okay, simple math. But the market is not always go up. Okay, as you can see, right, sometimes we do go down, and then sometimes we even stagnant for many years. And these times, for instance, like this one, I think I need to move my mouse here. This is the longest ever drop we have for 5 years. That's why people start to lose confidence with per property markets. That is normal because for 5 years you never see the lights, right? You start to forget how the lights look like. And in 1989, when the interest rate was 17%, we are talking of, we also dropped for 3 years and then we pick up again, okay? So the reasons I'm trying to show you these diagrams, right, again, it's kind of reminders. Okay, because the market is, it's good that you have like every 10 years you got the double, but market, it doesn't work in that way. We do experience, right, where the market is going down. So when I'm trying to show you these diagrams, right, I would like to remind you 3 points. First, the property value in WA actually is quite relatively insulated from all kinds of financial crises as compared to other asset class. Okay, as you can see, right, during the because this is the diagram from RIWA, they didn't actually show all the crises, so I put even more, like GFC, that is the popular one, the Asian financial crisis. But if you're looking at this, WA or Australia, we are quite good because we are insulated from all these prices. We're still picking up, the prices still going up. And the second point that I would like to show you through this diagram is when you go into a property, you have to buy and hold. This is important, okay? Because if you day enough to buy, when the interest rate was 17%, okay? I always mention that when the interest rate, I mean, currently we have the interest rate around 2%. If you don't even dare to buy, right? Just imagine the times when the interest rate was 17%. I doubt it if anyone want to buy. But if you buy at that time in 1989, when the interest rate was 17%, and you hold long enough, okay, you buy and hold, as I say, the second point, you buy and hold, you will be still good if you can hold until 2019, okay? And the third point that I would like to bring out from this diagram is you have to buy and hold, and also important, you have the holding cost. The cash flow is important because that is one of the key elements that help you to hold that long enough. Okay, and this is the recent one that just published a few days ago. So we are getting there. We are 0.2% plus, and it has been our figure already climbed up since November until today. So we are, as you can see, right, the annual figure is minus 2.5. So the gap is getting smaller as well. And the next one, we are quite good in terms of the rental changes as well. As you can see, right, we increased by 8%. So that is all the positive signs from the market. But that is not the key topic for today. The key topics for today is what is the best property investment scheme from Australian governments. You will be surprised. A lot of local people, right, they don't even know what is this NRAS things about. Let's start. What is NRAS? Okay. NRAS stands for National Rental Affordability Schemes, okay? And this is a long-term commitments by the Australian governments to invest into the affordable rental. So it's supported by the federal governments and also supported by the state governments, okay? And there are three main purposes to have these schemes. First, as I say, right, they try to increase the supply of the affordable rental units, and also they try to reduce the rental costs. And of course, right, they would like to encourage a large-scale investment as well. So to make it easier for you to understand, let's start with a story. Okay, Michelle, okay? Michelle is an office administrator in an accountant firm, okay? Michelle is earning $4,250 per month. So per year is around 51,000. So in Australia, we would say this kind of people is like middle class. Okay, now she is staying in an apartment that she's paying $1,500 per month as a rental. And this rental contribute around 35% of her income. Okay, so in Australia back then, there was around of 1.5 million of the populations, right, actually have these kinds of what we call housing stress. Housing stress means, right, if you're earning 4,000 and 35% of your incomes, right, actually go into the rentals, right, then what our governments claim this kind of people as a housing stress. Okay, so back in 2008, right, in Australia there is around 1.5 million of this kind of people, medium class people, they are facing this housing stress. So that's how the NRAS start with. Okay, now to help to find more affordable rentals, right, of course the easier way would be the government to build more houses. But as we all know, to build more houses, you need time and you need plenty of cost. Okay, so government think of different solution. So what they have done, they come up with different solution. That's first, they pick in the area where they think, where they know, right, according to statistics, right, where people want to move in or want to rent. Okay, and they will qualify this property with NRAS allocations. Okay. By the way, this is all private property, okay? It's not the government housing, because a lot of people misunderstand thoughts. This is a social housing or government housing, which is not. This is a private housing, okay? So, simple maths, we sell this kind of houses to the buyer, okay? The owner, okay? As the normal prices. There is no two different prices for NRAS or not NRAS. And then Michelle is going to rent these houses with a 20% discount, okay? Serve the purpose, right, to reduce the rental. So Michelle, instead of paying 18,000, now she's paying 14,000 per year, okay, as a renter. So basically she saved $3,600 per year, okay? So she paid lower rental. That serves the purpose, okay? For her, that is a big money. Actually, for normal people, that is a big money. So this Mr. Landlord, he sacrificed his rental by $3,600. So in return, the government give him a tax-free NRAS incentive, $11,270. Okay, this is the latest figure. I will show you some history later on. So it's by using a simple maths, right? It's not hard to understand. So if you sacrifice 3,600, in return, you get 11,000, okay? You get 11,000 in return, which means that you know maths. So you know that you are making loss or you are making you're earning some extra money, okay? And then, so how and who pay this 11,000? Out of this 11,000, 25% is contributed by the state government. And this money go into your bank account, your nominal bank account straight, okay? So that you don't need to do any applications because, you know, once the, by the way, the NRAS, right, the calendar year is slightly different from our financial year. As you know, our financial year will be from the 1st of July up to the end of June. For this one, the NRAS year will start from the 1st of May until the 30th of April. So once the NRAS year ends, right, so you will have this money. Usually, right, they will distribute around May to July, okay, straight into your nominal bank account. So for the bigger portion, 75%, that will be contributed by the federal governments, okay? The federal governments, they will issue you a certificate called RTO, Refundable Tax Offsets. So when you pass your tax, right, I mean, when you pass all your documents to your accountant to prepare your tax returns, right, that is the certificate you pass to her or him as well. So she will claim the fund back to you according to the certificates, okay? So out of the 75% from these 11,000, right, that is around 8,000 will be contributed from the federal government, and this will be returned as through the tax returns, okay? Okay, this is a history, like, you know, how is the payments, okay, for NRAS. It starts from 2008, okay? When it just starts, right, it's only start from 8,000. I still remember I bought my first one in Brisbane. That was in year 2011. So I start with 9,140, okay? 9,140. I never dreamed of one day they will actually climb up to 11,000, okay? Especially for those property in Perth. We all know, right, in the last 2 years, right, we don't actually have a good market. Our rentals, right, actually reduced significantly. But in the eastern states, right, the rental for Sydney, Melbourne, they're going up like crazy. Because of that, right, because when the governments do the review every year, right, they are not only looking at the performance by state, they were looking at the performance for the whole Australia. So we are very lucky. So we joined the rocket. So the NRAS actually going up from 8,000 to today's. This was just announced not long ago, $11,270. Okay. Now, who qualified to live or to stay into these kinds of NRAS property? A lot of people's, right, will say, nah, you know, NRAS is not good, only for low income. To be honest, right, when I'm looking at these tables, right, I don't think it is low income. Let's see for adults, okay? So first, you still need to get a job, because if you have no job, I don't see any of the property manager will list the house, okay, to you, to the tenants, okay? So you need to get a job that you can service the renter. That is the basic. But there is a ceiling for that, okay? For instance, for single, for adult, you cannot earn more than 52,000. Then you qualify to live into that house, okay? And then after you move into that house, as long as your income is not more than 65,000, okay? Even you more than 65,000, right? You still can continue to stay there for another 2 years. Then 2 years later, they will they will stop you because the tenants will be not eligible because your income is more than the ceiling already. Okay, for like people, this is the one of the common one, a couple with 2 children. As long as you're not earning more than 100,000, you qualify to stay in this kind of house. Okay, so to be honest, right, we have a lot of people not earning more than 100,000. Okay, so yeah, so that is really a middle class. And also some people say, they are bad tenants. To be honest, I see in this way. Okay, Michelle. So her income is 51,000, as I mentioned just now as an example. So she is eligible to rent this kind of NRAS property. Okay, now this building, this is one of the good example. This building has 120 units. Okay, only 40 of them is NRAS. Just imagine, right? If you rent NRAS one, you pay $248 per week. If you list those normal property, okay, that without NRAS, that will be 310. So imagine which one you prefer. From Michelle's point of view, of course she prefer that one with discounts because save for $62 per week. That is quite huge, 62, you can buy a couple of cappuccino with that. So from Michelle's point of view, of course, she prefer to stay in this house because they are in the same building. It's not like, oh, okay, you and rest, you don't have toilet. That is not the case. So everyone will enjoy the same. So Michelle's were happy to stay here. And of course, she will make sure she pay on time. She will maintain the property in good condition so that she can stay longer, or else, if she kick out, right, the only option is she still want to stay in the same buildings, right, 310 will be the only options. Okay, so Michelle will do all her best so that she won't be kicked out from the building, and she will maintain it good, and she will happy to stay there as long as she got. I still remember my first tenant was a nurse in Brisbane. She stayed in my because she is the only one I remember, because after that I got so many tenants I forgot. She is the ones I remember because I remember she told my PMs, right, she would rather to stay in this property instead of increase her income, because the incomes that she increased, right, may not be enough to cover the extra rental that she need to pay. Because you have to understand, right, in Brisbane, right, we're not talking about 20% difference, okay? In Brisbane, there are 30% discount, so slightly different. So she told my PM, she said, I would rather to stay in this house instead of increase the salary, okay? And this is a picture that we took, okay? One of them, this one, that was 2 years ago when the market was very, very terrible. So there was a unit because my office is just next door. So we quite sneaky. So we take these pictures when people is queued up for the NRAS renting. So you can see, right, how popular it is. This was the worst time, I remember, as I mentioned, because 1 or 2 years back, right, was quite suffer with our vacancy. We even hit like 7% for vacancy at that time. But you can see, right, for NRAS property, this is how much the tenants love it. Okay. Now, come to the most excited part. That is the holding cost. Okay. This I will slow down a bit. Okay. Now, I will take an example by using the Velocity. Okay, one of our project, we've come with NRAS. So this is of the plans apartments. Okay, so by using an example of 12% as deposit, the reason I'm using 12% is because because you still need to pay this. As long as your loans, right, more than 80%, you can't avoid this LMI, the loan mortgage insurance. So that's why we put 12% there. And then the LMI, the loan amount is 88%. And I'm not to be too optimistic, so I put the interest rate at 2.9%, okay? So regardless, you are buying NRAS or non-NRAS, okay? Regarding NRAS or non-NRAS, okay? So the cost more or less the same. The big difference will be this $11, the application fee for NRAS. And to be honest, right, we still put into the calculation just to show you the difference, because nowadays, right, to be honest, $11, like, let your agents pay for you, okay? Usually developer will pay that $11, because I still remember in the old days when we have NRAS, right, this $11, right, we will ask the clients, right, to give us the credit card so that they can pay that $11. But nowadays, to be honest, $11 let the agents to pay for you. Okay, so regardless NRAS or no NRAS, okay, the cost is more or less the same. So basically we have the purchase price, we have settlement fee, stamp duty, land transfer fee, they're all standards, okay. And then this property costs around 352,000. So in total, with these all these settlements costs, right, we the total property cost will be 367,000. So if you buy into, let's say this one, because this is off the plan and still under constructions, all you need is a 10% deposit. Okay, so you come up with 35,000 as a deposit. When the settlements comes, right, you need to pay all these expenses, and then included also the remaining deposit, the 2% that you need to make up the 12%. So you come up with another 7,000. So at the settlements, the balance you need is 21,000. Okay. So if you buy the property from this building called Veracity, regardless it comes with NRAS or it doesn't come with NRAS, the difference will be that $11. Okay. Now, the big difference comes from the holding cost. Okay. Let me go through one by one with you. So the big holding cost, by the way, right, the same calculations I split into two, okay? One, because tonight, right, we do have participants from local, and we also have participants from overseas. So I will show you first, like what is the impact or what is the effect to the local buyer. And then after I finish these sections, I will go through also the holding cost for overseas buyer. Okay, so this one I start with the local buyer. So the holding cost mainly come from the big one. It's come from your mortgage. Okay, let's say it's we just consider because we're talking about cost. That's why I put only the cost. Cost is the interest, not the principal that you pay in, because that is your assets. Okay, so this as I mentioned, right, the loan is 88%. So we borrow around 310,000 from the bank based on the interest rate of 2.9. Okay, as you know, right, actually we can get better than this, right? But as I say, right, I don't want to be too optimistic, so I just put 2.9 because I know recently we got clients who can get 2.29. Okay, so let's say if we use 2.9 as an example. So the interest for this building for this unit for whole years is $8,996. And then the property management fee that based on your rental here, 15,000 times 13%, that is 2,000 per year. Okay, the rest as an owner that you have to pay, as an owners, right, as a landlord, this is the fee that you cover, okay, instead of your tenants pay for it. That is your council fee, your water rate, your strata fee, and your landlord insurance. Okay, that is only $300 per year. And of course your accounting fee and also your letting fee. Okay, and we already put the assumptions at 3 weeks. Okay, altogether per year your cost is around 16,000. Okay, now your income is very simple math. The same unit next door is currently we can rent around 310. Okay, 310 times 50 weeks, assume 2 weeks vacant, so we will have an income 15,000. Again, simple math. 15,000 as your income, 16,000 as your expenditure. You have to top up $700 per week. Chop, very easy. $13, okay, $13.6 per week, which is affordable by anyone. To be honest, right, without even consider about any tax returns or NRAS, right, $13, right, is affordable, okay, because our interest rate is very, very low right now. So you have to do some things, okay. $13, that is what we are talking about, because I remember yesterday I have a chicken rice. The chicken rice cost me $12. So if I can sacrifice one chicken rice, that is the money. That is the money that I can buy a property. I can buy a house, okay. So because in this country, the beauty of this country is because our governments allow us to do negative gearing, which means that the loss that we make through this investment, we can deduct tax. and even included those non-cash deductions, for instance, right, the property depreciations, okay? And also the borrowing expenses. You still remember the LMI that I mentioned? So the loan mortgage insurance, that is tax deductible and divide by 5 years. So you have a non-cash deductions on the books, that is 6,000 that you can claim tax. So altogether, $700 and 6,000. So altogether, 6,983,000. No, 6,983 is tax deductible. Let's see, if this landlord have an annual income of 60,000 in Australia, he is paying right now, or she is paying right now, 12,000 as a tax. I mean, before you bring your money back home, the government already deduct 12,000. So basically, even you will say, oh, I'm earning 60,000, but you actually bring only 48,000 home. But because you have this investment, that you are losing 6,900, but as you see already, you actually like you need to top up only like $700. But because this is non-cash deductions that you allowed to deduct, so you can deduct this 6,900 from your 60,000 income. So your taxable income dropped to 53,000. Because your new assessable income become 53,000, your new tax payable is $9,633. So you basically save $2,514, okay, as a tax return, which means that once your accountant fill out all the tax return for you, you will have a tax return from the government, $2,514. So in general, in summary, so your annual outgoing is 16,000. That is where the figure from, okay, 60,000. Okay, to hold this house, that is the money you need to come up with, included the biggest portion, that is your mortgage, okay, so 16,000. So now, your tax savings that the government returned to you is 2,500, so that is your plus. And then your rental, this one, 15,000, that you collect from the tenants, so your income. So end up to hold this property, you are actually earning $1,805, which is equivalent to $34 per week, okay? Don't you think it's a good deal? If you think it's a good deal, maybe you can write down in the comment chat room, deal. I see our participants is climb up to 70 people. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, so now let's move on. By the way, the pie chart tried to show you, so your investment, you didn't actually come up with any money because there's no red color here. As you can see, taxman, okay, that is our ATO. The money they return to you is 2005, so they contribute the orange color. And the green color, that is your tenant, okay? Your tenant contribute the major part. 95% of this is from your tenant. So 15,000. So you contribute nothing. So as you can see, and you still have extra money because of this investment, okay? Now, let's move forward to what happened with NRAS property, okay? NRAS property will be the same. You still have your interest on your loan, 8,000, and you do have the property management fee as well. And you have, you see, right, the management fee will be slightly higher just because, you know, when you come to NRAS, right, you have more auditings, okay, from the consortium. So that's why usually they charge slightly higher service fee. But because your rental has been discounted to 12,000, even the percentage is slightly higher. The overall, the rental, the total PM fee, right, the property management fee, right, is still slightly lower than the normal property. Okay, council fee, water rate, strata fee, landlord insurance, accountancy fee, lading fee, they are all the same. Okay, even there is a, we put another outgoing because, you know, come to NRAS, right, there is an administration fee. Because most of these consortiums, right, they are non-profit organizations. So when they do the auditings, when they do the paperwork, they do have a, in 1 year, right, they do have an administration fee on that. I remember mine is around 500 to 600 per year, okay? So we put a buffer of 1,000 here. So the total outgoing, I mean, the real money terms, yeah, is 16,000. But because in these countries, right, for NRAS, you cannot claim, I shouldn't say in this country, I should say, right, for NRAS, you cannot claim 100% of your expenditure, okay? Because, come on, you get a tax-free 11,000. There is a theory behind that. So, but I just let you know the formula because I just don't want to spend too much time in talking about theory today. So you can't claim the full amount of 16,868. Come to claim the tax, right? You can only claim 82% out of this 16,000. So when you claim tax, right, you can only claim 13,000. Okay. Now come to the rental income as the same. The market rent is 310, but because this is an NRAS, so you committed to give a 20% discount to your tenant. So your rentals, right, turn out to be $248 per week. So the annual rentals becomes 12,400, okay, 12,400. That is after the 20% discount. So again, simple maths. Your income is 12,000. Your outgoing is 13,000. So you are losing, or I would say you need to top up in order to hold this property $1,350, which is equivalent to $26 per week. Okay, which is the money still less than one KFC or one dim sum. Okay, so so that is the $26, okay, which is I didn't bring in any tax return or NRAS, okay, which is I think for most of us $26, to be honest, is affordable. Okay, now as same as the non-NRAS property, you can also have the non-cash deductions for the borrowing expenses. For instance, the LMI, the loan mortgage insurance, and also the depreciations. Okay. Again, because this is a NRAS property, you can't claim 100%, which means that you cannot claim this 6,275. Instead, you claim only 82% out of that. So you claim only $115. Okay. Now we back to this. Okay, altogether, okay, 1,300, 5,000, and altogether, okay, 6,000 that you can claim tax. Okay, as I mentioned just now, 60,000 income, you already pay 12,000 as your tax. Okay, because of the money that you lose here, so you can go to deduct tax. So your new taxable income becomes 53,000, and then of course your tax become 9,000. So basically from here you save $2,327, and then you will get as a tax returns. Okay. And then now, because you sacrifice this 20% from your rental, so the government gives you this NRAS tax-free $11,270, okay, per year. So now, so come to the money terms in summary. Your total outgoing is still the same. You still using this, okay, 16,000, because this is a real money terms, yeah. So you contribute 16,000. And you get the tax returns from the government's $2,327. And then you got a rental income, 12,400 from your tenants. And then you get another NRAS, and which is tax-free. So 11,000. So with this single purchase, what you get is, you get $9,129 back per year. What do you think? I hope you give me a thumbs up if you think this is a good returns, okay? Which is equivalent to $176 per week. $176. You can have as many KFC you want, or you can have as many dim sum you want, because $176 is still a good money. So a lot of them, just like one of my colleagues, it's actually my sister, she has a couple, she just show off to me last night because she got 4. So you can imagine how many she got 4 here. So every year she can actually buy another new property. Okay. So if you break down into a pie chart as before, your tax band actually contribute 13.8, and then tenants contribute 73%, and then NRAS give you 66%. That is why you don't contribute, and you will calculate this is more than 100%. Okay, in the pie chart usually it's 100%, but this one is more than 100%, is because you generate a positive income of $175. That is $176 per week. Okay. So the next one is this is for overseas. I know I run out of time. I think I will skip the project part very fast, and then so I will just come up like, you know, you may ask me, Lily, from an investor, if I'm the investor from overseas, what is the benefit to me? Okay, so for NRAS, the same, your property price will be the same. By the way, I didn't put in any mortgage repayment here because everyone's circumstance is different, because it depends where you will get your loan. So that's why I didn't put in any mortgage repayment here. I just basically see from the investments, like from only the property price and the income and, you know, expenditure. So at the same rental, you have a 20% discount if you are NRAS, and there's no discount if you are not NRAS, and the same building price as before, yeah. And then annual rental 12,000. This one, because no discount, is 15,000. And this one you have the 11,000 from the government, and then there is no incentive from the government. So total income for NRAS is 23,000 per year, and no NRAS you have 15,000. Okay. So expenses more or less the same. Okay. Actually, no NRAS slightly higher because, as I mentioned, right, because the NRAS, the property management fee, calculate based on your rental, because you have a better rental, of course you pay slightly higher. And the rest, right, council fee, water rate, strata fee, is more or less the same. So your total expenditure for NRAS is 6,600. For no NRAS is 6,800. Okay, so your net income for NRAS property is 17,000. And then for your non-NRAS is 8,000. I see it in this way, because if you are investor from Malaysia, right, let's say if you have 352,000 cash sitting in the bank, I'm not quite sure with the interest rate in Malaysia right now. I remember last week I checked, is around the fixed D is around 3%. And in Perth, we are quite worse. Today's, right, we checked, right, most of them is offered, right, 0.9%, 0.8. You may, lucky enough, you may find some of them is around 1%. Let's say if you have 352,000, yeah, cash sitting in bank as a fixed D. Let's say if your relationship with the Commonwealth Bank very good, they give you 1%. We are talking about 1% out of this 352,000 is only $3,520, and then you still have to pay tax on that. Let's say if your income tax is like 29%, so add up to your hand, it's maybe talking about 2,000 something. So you would say, if I buy with NRAS, this is my net income, 17,000, at least is triple. Okay, have a think on that. Okay, this is a testimonial from one of my clients. I just want to show that as the last one, okay, the real case. And this gentleman is earning 101,255, okay, per year. So he's paying 27,000 as a tax, okay. So the tax we owe is 27,000 because he has 4 property, okay, and go through all the negative gearing. So the taxable income is become only 34,000. So this guy actually earning 100,000 because he has 4 property. So end up his taxable income dropped to 34,000, 34,230. And because of that, the government even give him the low income, okay, low income subsidized. So he get another 700 from the government because he own 4 property, yeah. So, and then so at the end of the day, after all this adjustment done, he got 41,000 tax return. Okay, so math is simple. Earning 100,000 because on 4 property, His taxable income dropped to 34,000. Low income person and with NRAS subsidized, which is tax free. So end up, instead of getting 27,000 back, he get 41,000 back. So it's a good case study to share with. Okay, so what project? So basically, is right. In Australia, not every projects right come with NRAS. Okay, even in the whole Australia right now, because NRAS already stopped since 2014. So and they will be totally stopped in 2026. So basically, is right. We don't have much, and basically in whole Australia, right, we have only NRAS property in WA and Sydney. Okay, Sydney are hardly here because also Sydney price, as you know, right, even like 20% discounts for a rental with $800 per week, right, that is still a lot. Not like property in Perth, right, where we still have, you know, medium price around 300,000. So even like the rental is 300, you discount, we are talking about like $60. Okay, so today's right, we want to show you 6 projects, but which I wouldn't go into details. I just briefly go through. So most of them is within like 12 kilometer. This is especially to the buyers from overseas. If you're looking for NRAS property, right, try to buy within 12 kilometer or 15 kilometer because you still can find loan with this property. Okay, we do have house that is slightly further out to north, that is like 22 kilometer from CBD. Okay, now the first project that I would like to introduce called Velocity. As I mentioned, right, 122 units of them. Okay, only 40 of them is come with NRAS. So some people will say, right, what happens right after 2026? So it's simple because after 2026, when you don't have NRAS anymore, you just list out your property same as the another 80 unit, which is don't have NRAS now. Okay, simple. And Veracity currently is doing some promotions. So if you buy, you know, before before the completions, okay, because they are still under constructions right now. So if for 1 bedroom they give a free acorns, and 2 bedroom they give two extra acorns, and also they give a rebate for the stamp duty. Okay, 75% for the local stamp duty. Because local stamp duty is around 4%, so they will give a 75% rebate on that. Let's say if you are buying a 400,000 properties, right, you save around 9,000 on that. Okay, the next one will be Aviator. Aviator altogether we have 14 units. Okay, we have only 8 of them to go, and then yeah, they all come with NRAS. Okay, and because this project haven't been, the constructions haven't been started, so 75% stamp duty rebate. So if you are overseas buyer, if you don't want to pay too much with the stamp duty, this is a project you can look into because our stamp duty is around 11%. So with 75% rebates, right, you are looking around 2.6%, okay, for the stamp duty. The last one that I want to show you is called the Crest. Okay, this is a 168 unit project. We have only 6 of them come with NRAS. And then most of the 1 bedroom we sold out. We have only, I think we have only one bedroom come with NRAS, and the rest is 2 bedroom. You may think, Lily, are you crazy? This is expensive, 600,000, 500,000. I will see in this way, okay? Because myself also own one of the unit in this building. I'm renting my 2 bedroom around 550 right now, okay? So if you buy into this, okay, with NRAS, so you need to sacrifice 110, okay, because 20% discount. But in return, you get another $220 from the government. So even, right, your rental may drop to 440, but plus the 220 from the government, your rental will turn out to be 600, more than 600. That will be better off than me. And you still buy into a good property that with a good potential for capital growth. Because at the end of the day, please don't forget, we want to buy into a property that with a capital growth. It's not only about cash flow. It's good to have cash flow to support, okay, to support until we see the capital growth. But the thing is, please don't forget about the capital growth, who is the key elements, okay? The next 3, one of the this one is Camberwell in Buckingham, is a house and land package. And the next one, the land, we have only 3 of them that are still available. maybe 2, because before I left the office just now, I know my team is still trying to sell 1 more. So this is also one of the good options as well. And then the price has been big discount as well, because developer have only last 3 to go, so they give a significant big discount. Okay, and the last one is also Siano High. So if you are looking, you still prefer house, you still believe in only landed property will appreciate in value, that is we have 3 out of the 45 lots that is with NRAS available. Okay, so that's all my sharing is, and I hope to end these sections with a video, and then I can spend some time to look at your questions, and then I can answer you.
Really, no sound.
No sound.
Employee, which is important, or a
Okay.
doctor or a lawyer,
Is that what?
a specialist, but never about money. The poor will always be among us. It starts up here. But when they say I can't afford it or I can't do that, they go down. They become what they say. And I meet so many people, I can't afford it, you think I've made of money. Poor people say I can't afford it, I can't do that, I don't have time. Because this is an escape. It's an escape. You know what I mean? It's easy to say I can't afford it. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I can't go to the gym. You know, when you could go to the gym, no, I can't. Truth is, I'm just too lazy to go to the gym.
And your rich dad used to say what instead of I can't afford it?
How can I afford it? How can I do that? You know, what would it take, or why should I do that? He says a question opens the mind, a statement closes the mind. So when you say I can't afford it, the mind shuts down. You become what you say. You know, people say, well, money is not that important to me. Then if money is not that important to you, money is not important to you. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't care about money. The money doesn't care about you. You know, the word does become flesh. Well, I'll never be rich. Or the favorite one is the rich are greedy. It's the poor that are greedy. You know, if you think about it, because to be rich, you have to give something. You know, I have to purchase books and games, and I purchase real estate, I provide housing, provide jobs and all that. That's why I'm rich. But greedy people produce nothing. And so the people right now who are sitting at home, who are struggling financially or worried about money or unhappy, they may be making a lot of money, but unhappy with what they're doing. It was probably taught to you. You know, your super ego was taught, get a job, work hard, or you'll never be rich, or the rich are evil, or whatever.
Until you change your mindset, money won't help you, right?
Correct. If you don't want to learn it, I can help you. You see, most teachers in school, they're out of ethics. They teach subjects.
Okay, seems like my team text me, right? There is breaking out. So yeah, so I come back to the chat room. Yeah, just in case you, please feel free to raise your questions. I mean, yeah, let me see if there is anyone that I need to answer. Or Lian, can you just continue in case I miss out any questions?
There is one question in the chat room just asking, NRAS incentive, right, 11,000 is fixed. If without tenant fulfill, still can get the same amount?
Okay, yes, this is a very good question, okay? Yeah, NRAS is fixed per year, okay? Of course, I couldn't say it's fixed because it has been increased since 2008, okay? From 8,000 until today is 11,000. So it is not fixed. It's increased every year according to the DI. And then the amounts, whether you get or not, even you don't have the tenants, even it is vacant, it still pay you. And then there is they still pay you prorata, okay, if up to a amount of vacancy. Okay, a lot of people ask me, right, you know, how to calculate the prorata. To be honest, right, up till today, I still don't know how to calculate because I never have ones, right, that really cannot lease out. And you see the queue already. Because if in the same building, one guy is leasing out 3 tents, and you are leasing out yours at, you know, 20% discount, there's no way you cannot lease out yours, okay? So, and when we pick the projects, right, to put NRAS, right, we don't pick the area when there is nobody want to lease, okay? That is first thing, okay? That's why the demands for lease is very high, okay? And second, yes, even there is a vacancy times, let's say 1 or 2 weeks, yes, you still get paid as full, okay? They never say, okay, you have 2 weeks is vacant, so I need to get some money back from you. That is not such case, okay? We will never experience one so far. Lian, just feel in case I miss out any points, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So thanks, Lily. And then we have another question. It's about finance. And what is the percentage of loan that you can get from the bank for non-resident?
Okay, for non-residents. Okay. Now, for non-residents, right, usually is right, there is 5 options, okay? For actually you guys is luckier than us, okay? You have 5 options, okay? So the first one, you may do the refinance if you have property in, let's say if you are from Malaysia, if you have a property there, you can do refinance, and you can do refinance there and pay in cash in Australia. Okay, that is one some of my clients do. Okay, and second options, you can go to the main banks. Okay, in Malaysia, they do lends to overseas property. And the third options, go to those global bank as their premier client. For instance, Citibank, HSBC, okay, become their premier clients, and then you can get the loans from local HSBC. Local means Perth HSBC, okay? Or you can also get in Malaysia HSBC, okay? Because they are global bank. And the fourth options will be, you go to Singapore banks, okay? Singapore banks like UOB, okay? They also lend to overseas investor, okay? And the fifth options will be in Australia, the third tier banks, okay? We do have the first tier, the big bank, the 4 major bank, but they are they are not very welcome overseas investor right now, unfortunately. So, but we still have the third tier banks. There are, some of them say this is private lender. Actually, they may be private lender, but I would say they are a small lender. They are smaller banks, okay? And their rate is quite good currently, sitting around 5 to 6%. Not like the old days, right, where, you know, for third tier banks, right, you're looking at like 12%. I mean, 5 to 6% is quite reasonable currently, yeah. I mean, of course, if you can borrow from your own country, will be the best, okay? If you can't, right, at least, you know, you have 5 options, okay, that you can consider, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Lily. And we have one question. Is NRAS rebate the same regardless of house or unit type and the rent as well, like the rent amount?
The rent amount is definitely variance, okay? The rent amount, because it depends, you know, some is 300, some is 400, okay? The rent is different, okay? Regardless, you are having a house, okay, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, even 10 bedroom, or even you have a 1 bedroom apartment, the incentive from the government, I mean the tax-free incentive, 11,000 will be the same, okay, regardless the type of the property you have, okay.
Yeah, so the rental is actually based on your market rent as well. So
yes, based on the market rent
around the area, and then NRAS will do the independent valuation, so they will look at so you can't decide on what you want to rent. So it's pretty.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because the consortium, they will do an independent valuations, they will based on the statistics, right, around that area, right, like 1 bedroom, what is the market price, okay? Yeah.
Okay, then we have one more question. What is the occupancy rate? It's more like what is the occupancy rate for us?
Okay, so I think vacancy rate, I think maybe, or you know, you might have, okay, let's say it depends on the suburbs, okay, because every suburb is different. For instance, the suburb that I just introduced, the Kenningtons, the Aviator, last month, we are looking, and now it's April, March, we are looking 1.6%, which is very, very low, okay. The months before the pandemics, we are looking around, oh no, sorry. Before the pandemic, we are looking around 1.6, okay? Now, after the pandemics, we are looking around 1.7. Okay, in Australia, okay, in a very healthy levels, right, is 3%, okay? Where the demand and supply is just like, you know, just make each other. So if you below 3%, which means that your supply is less than the demand, okay? But above the 3%, which means that you have too much of supply, but you don't have too much of you don't have much of demand, which means that your vacancy is quite high as well. Yeah, but just like the year before, we have 7%, but Perth in general is dropped back to 2 point something. I didn't get the update yet. Now I think 2.4. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1.9%, basically, there's not many rental property on the market.
Yes.
So at the moment, rental in Perth are doing very well. So there's
Yes.
basically enough properties to rent out. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the chart that I showed you just now, the rental has been increased by 8%. So we are number 2 after Canberra in terms of the whole Australia. Yeah. I mean, our rental value is keep increasing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's next question. NRAS is ending in 2026. What will be the impact on the existing buyers?
Okay, so if you buy your NRAS, right, like just like mine, a very easy example. I bought mine in Brisbane in 2011. So mine is come to the end 2021. So 2021, oh, actually next year. Okay, so my NRAS will come to the end 2021, which means that I'm not going to enjoy the tax-free incentive from the government anymore. I will put my unit back to the market as a normal property, which means that I'm not going to give 30% discount. Because my property is in Brisbane, so I give 30% discounts, okay? In Perth, you give only 20% discount, which means that I'm not going to give discounts. I will rent, let's say my rental is $400 per week, so I'm going to lease my property at $400 per week. Instead of currently, I rent my property at $280. Okay, so you set that discount because you are not going to get the incentive anymore. Just as I said just now, this is not not a government property. This is a private property. So I will just put back to the market as just like any other property, rent out as the normal rental without discount. Yeah. Did I answer the questions? I mean, please feel free. You can unmute your mic, and then if you have questions, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, please. Please do that. And thanks, Elena. Just give us an update. The current vacancy right now in Perth is only 2.5%. So very low, basically 100 properties.
It's low. If as long as below 3%, right, which means that our demand is higher than our supply.
Yeah. And we have another question here. Is there any restriction in regards to sales, refinancing, tenancy agreement, etc.? And then what if tenant doesn't pay rent? Yeah, we will answer that as a second part.
Oh, you want to answer the second part?
Yeah.
Because Leanne is in charge of most of my property management. Okay, I let her to show that one. Okay, so is there any restriction to sell? No. As I said, this is a private, normal property, okay? Let's say it's like mine again, yeah? I use myself as an example. My property in Brisbane, okay? Next year, the NRAS is going to be finished, okay? If I panic, I say, no, I don't want any property without NRAS. What I can do now, I can sell, okay? I can sell even there is still one more year for the NRAS, okay? Then the buyer, the new buyer, okay, when he or she bought my unit, he or she can decide whether she wants the NRAS or not. If she doesn't want the NRAS, then they can give the quota, the allocation, the NRAS allocation back to the government, okay? And then my property become no NRAS, okay? But if she say, yeah, why not? You know, I can continue the NRAS. So he or he can continue the NRAS property until 2021 because mine bought in 2011. Every NRAS lasts for only 10 years, okay? But because now, right, we have no more NRAS until 2026. So whatever you get in the market right now, there's no more 10 years, okay? So I hope I answered the questions. So there is no restrictions with resale. And refinancing the tenancy, there is no problem with refinance because that is just a normal property, yeah? And then what if the tenant doesn't pay? Leanne, I'll let you to answer that one.
Make sure you buy, what's that called again? I have a mental block. Landlord
insurance. Yeah.
a year covered you a lot. Yeah. So just like any other properties that you own as an investment, so you buy a landlord insurance to protect you. So if they don't pay rent, and there's a lot of way that you could do, I mean, you know, if you breach them and things like that, and then you can claim insurance. So basically buy landlord insurance.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of owning investment property here. Yeah, we are well protected by you know, insurance and rules and regulation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all the question that we have so far.
I'm
Do
so
we
grateful
any
because
more?
until this moment, right, we still have around 60 of us in the chat room. Please feel free if you have questions, or in case you're too shy to ask one, please PM or ask to the agent who bring you to the chat room. And thank you so much. I thanks for my team as well, because I see Alina, Ben, yeah, you guys is helping me to answer all these questions. Thank you so much. Yeah. And stay tuned with the next week one. Lian, I'll let you to do the ending.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of say what I want to say as well. So everyone's situation is different, and we all on a different tax bracket. So if you're interested to find out how this NRAS can benefit you, or how can you structure your loan and do a different portfolio, and speak to the agent who invited you to the session today, because all of us are very experienced in investment, and as well as, you know, doing all these holding cost things, because Lily spent quite a lot of time talking about numbers. Yeah, maybe a little bit hard to absorb everything in one go. Took me a while. Yeah, so feel free to talk to your agent and ask them to do a specific one for you. Any other question? Looks like we're all good. And thank you very much for tuning in today. And we hope to see you again next week, and looking at different investment opportunity in Thailand. That is the
yeah, our directors from the Bangkok office will be the one present. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for something for a quick flip, that might be your cup of tea. If even just, you know, come and have a listen, check out, you know, we don't know what we don't know. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And
thank you, everyone.
And keep warm. I mean, Malaysia is warm, but Australia is very cold now. Thank you,
yeah,
everyone.
you can see everyone is jacket. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.